course, we'll be playing Championship football next season.
You know, winning this league, because we're a massive club. I think you know that.
Right. Social distancing is going to be a thing of the future now, isn't it? So we're all going to have to get. I reckon they'll.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Now today we've got a sit down video, however we're joined by a special guest from Portsmouth vlogger, FourNil written all over it. How are you doing, Tom?
Tom, I'm very well, mate. I'm a little bit red because Alex just called me Ben in the first attempt at his intro. But I'm good, I'm excited. Well, I'm more excited than you are right now, mate, put it that way.
Yeah, I know you are, and we'll come on to that. Anyway, I'm going to ask you, can you set a like target for this video?
Oh, what do we normally get?
Well, I've been over 100, usually.
Go for 140 for FourNil written all over it.
Okay, there we go. Smash it a like, subscribe to both of our channels. I'm going to leave his channel in the description, so I think you're on the road to 6,000.
6,000, mate, 6k.
So let's go over to his channel and smash that subscribe button. But anyway, in this video we're just going to talk about League One. Obviously the news yesterday came out. This is actually going to be uploaded at the weekend, so we're recording this a day after the news. So we're going to come on, we're going to start off. I just want to know a bit about yourself, Tom. Tell us a bit about your YouTube journey, and yeah.
YouTube started for me in 2015. It was the closed season in July, where I picked up an iPhone 4S at the time and went, right, let's film in a Toby Carvery before the game. And it was Burton Albion at home, would you believe, Alex, that we first did a video with salt and pepper pots as microphones and rubbish camera quality, and I uploaded it to YouTube and it got 12 views. And then since then we've gone from strength to strength. We've been all over the place. We went to Barcelona in our first series. We've been to, obviously, Staying In With Light. We've been to Wembley. We've been to all sorts of places, but we haven't yet managed to get. Actually, no, we did go to Portman Road a couple of years ago. I tell a lie, we did, but was expecting to go in March, actually, mate. Well, we were making plans for that, but sadly it all got a bit cut off halfway in. But well, obviously it's for a very good reason it got cut off, but it did get cut off nonetheless. I was really looking forward to that one. We still haven't got a refund for those tickets, by the way, Alex, on the away game. So it is an absolute shambles. It's an absolute shambles. But yeah, I'm not sure how long ago we hit 5k now, but we so obviously some of the biggest ones for me have been at Wembley, and then the visit of our neighbours down the road. We're going to talk about playoffs today, I know, but we had a bit of a playoff nightmare in 2016 in League Two, where we travelled all the way down to Home Park after a 2-2 first leg, which we drew at Fratton Park, and then only to be beaten 1-0 in added time at the end to send Plymouth to Wembley and send us home. So yeah, but I know what it's like for playoffs at the minute, mate, and it's tough for Ipswich fans to take. I saw you quite distraught yesterday, or on Tuesday's video it would have been for people watching now. I think your next question to me is about playoffs. I want to know from you, mate, how was it going so well in December when we met each other outside Fratton Park? You were top of the league, absolutely flying, and then what happened?
Oh, the thing is, mate, I think we started off the season well. We were picking up a lot of 1-0 wins. I think you've probably seen for yourself the results, but we were getting loads of 1-0 wins. A lot of Ipswich Town fans were getting their hopes up, one being me, obviously. I was so hopeful of us, winning this league, because we're a massive club, I think you know that. And it's hard to take, it really is, because seeing how we started the season put a massive positive attitude on all Ipswich fans. it's just a really hard one to take, because seeing the decline we've been on since Christmas, it hurts a lot, mate. But coming back onto our performances, I think we scraped a lot of 1-0 wins, which actually kept us at the top of the league. And then, you know, after Christmas, we did start getting punished by teams. So yeah, I think that's the main reason, really. You know, just not. Our main problem is just consistency, to be honest. And I think if we can keep consistent, if we can keep picking up results, that's where we would have been going up this season. And I just think, you know, it came back to bite us, all the things we said.
If Paul Lambert had gone after that loss to Pompey, I spoke to yourself, a few other Ipswich fans outside the ground on that day, sorry, and they were all saying, well, some of them were saying that Paul Lambert should go, and you've been calling for him to go for a while because you weren't running away from it. My question to you, Alex, is if he had been sacked on either that evening or just after the Christmas window, do you reckon you'd be playing Championship football next season?
No, not at all. The thing is with us, we've been chopping and changing managers for the past couple of years now, and what I really want to see is just some stability. Yes, obviously there was that time when Lambert got 2 consecutive promotions with Norwich, but that was a long time ago now. I think he's got a lot of League One experience. It does go to show. However, this year's been an absolute shambles. We haven't taken our chances that we've won, like I've wanted to see. I think if Lambert was to have gone, I don't know who we would have got in. Lambert's got the League One experience, and I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think we'd be in the Championship. I don't think we would have been near the playoffs. That's just my opinion, mate. What do you think? Do you think we'd be in a different position?
I don't know I know Lambert's been successful for you, and Mick McCarthy before him. I remember seeing lots of great Ipswich seasons under him, but I just think that if you had brought someone in, I wonder if, you know, you say you wanted stability, well, maybe a temporary fix towards the end of the season, would that have given you a little boost just over the line, even just to get into the playoffs, or not even automatics, just into the playoffs? Yeah. But you'll like to hear me say this, but obviously Ipswich Town don't belong in League One, do they? Like, you're Ipswich Town alongside Sunderland and Peterborough, and you just think that what did you say the other day? Be playing Crewe Alexandra next season, or was it Swindon?
Crewe Alexandra, Swindon, Plymouth.
Yeah, no disrespect to any Crewe or Plymouth or fans watching. Yeah, I
mean, fair play. They've done it extremely well to get promotion, but when you put it into perspective, you look at the size of our club, and then, you know, I don't know how big the teams coming up are, but I think we should be in Championship at bare minimum. But it is what it is. It's happened for a reason, and hopefully we can bounce back up next season. And that actually now brings me on to my next question, mate. Okay,
go for it.
Portsmouth, massive club. You've been through a lot in your time, mate. I mean it. You've been through a lot. You've been in League Two. You've been in all the leagues, mate.
Apart from the Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League. Will that ever happen, mate? Do you reckon?
I spoke about back-to-back promotion in a video I did the other day, and that sounded a little bit overconfident. Just from the, not trying to blow our own trumpets as Pompey fans, but Jose Mourinho said this was the best atmosphere he's seen, and Ronaldinho says the best atmosphere in world football. Thierry Henry put a Pompey shirt on when we played Arsenal all those years ago. So we've gone back quite a way.
I'm sure you played Arsenal this year as well.
Yeah. Well, the less said about that, the better, Alex. I think that was. Well, we were thinking we were all going back to Wembley again because we reached was it the 4th or the 5th round of the FA Cup, and Mike Dean came to town, Alex. That was the best thing I took away from that day. He was the ref on the day. But no, Arsenal just ran rings around us. You'd probably see on, I think BT were there, but the first goal they scored against us, we literally looked like we were all frozen in time. But that's to be expected with a Premier League outfit, isn't it? But back when we were in the Premier League, we were really up there challenging for it, and we had a season under Harry Redknapp quite a few years ago where we were in the relegation zone for the majority of the season, and the last 9 or 10 games we actually managed to win about 7 of them, and then ended up staying up in the Premier League. So I think that's quite significant right now, isn't it? It's an interesting one to talk about, that if we had played the 9 or 10 games that sadly the season's been curtailed for all of us, where would that put teams right now? Where would that put Ipswich? Where would that put Sunderland? Where would that put Pompey? Because that might well have caused us to drop out, because there were about, if you look at the table, because obviously no games have been played since March, there's still 4 or 5 teams about a point separated apart from each other. There's 3 teams in the league where they say points per game, but it's us, I think it's us, Oxford and someone else, who are all got exactly the same points per game. Like something 0.781, and it's really fine margin. I'll give you a little statistic, Alex, which some of your viewers might like to know. We played Fleetwood Town on the last night of our League One action in March, back in March, when there was no social distancing, that wasn't even a thing, and all that kind of thing. And we drew 2-2 with them. Had either side lost that game, we would have been replaced by Peterborough in the playoffs, and neither of us would be given the chance to fight for the championship spot, because we'd both be out of it.
That's mad.
So that just shows you how tight it is at the top. But we're just very, very grateful and very thankful that, because I was a bit worried that they decided on the top 3 teams as it was at the time instead of having to play the playoffs. So I thought initially that it would be Coventry, Rotherham, and then Oxford, and then we'd miss out by like a point. But I just.
But you've made it. You've made it.
Yes,
we've
made
it.
it.
The playoffs.
You haven't, which is really sad.
Oh, shut up! I'm gonna cry. No. Next season, mate, is the season we'll go up. I'm sure. I say this every year.
And Norwich will stay down, and then you can play them.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, this is going to bring me on to my last little point.
Yep.
Okay, we are now going to do a little playoff predictions. All right, so. We're going to go through the 2 games, Wycombe versus Fleetwood, and then Oxford versus Portsmouth. And we are going to give our predictions. Okay, I know it's a little bit early because I don't even know when they're being played, mate, to be completely honest.
They haven't announced it yet. They might have done by the time people are watching this. I would anticipate we'd be... Well, they said, I think it's next week for League 2 playoffs, so I think it's pretty soon.
So it might be a week up. Yeah. So we're not far away, I'm really looking forward to watching them on TV, as I'm sure you are.
I'm not, no, because we're going to lose them.
Well, I'm sure you'd rather beat... How does it actually feel? I want to come on to this point quickly before we go on.
Yeah.
How does it feel that if you do get promoted, because I think you've got a good chance, Portsmouth, they're a good club, how will it feel for you, obviously not being able to celebrate it properly?
It'd be really strange, because the last time we got promoted from a league, we were champions of League 2. Not trying to plug myself, but you go over there and watch my video on that one, and that was one of the most unbelievable days ever. With Cheltenham Town, we beat 6-1, and even before that, we beat Notts County at Meadow Lane, and we went on the pitch there because that was just the day that we secured automatic promotion. And just not being able to do that, and not being able to either just go on the pitch or just even go and celebrate with other Pompey fans, because I don't think, I just think that it would ruin it, really, wouldn't it, being 2 metres apart and trying to celebrate going up to the championship. But it's gonna feel really strange. We've got to get there first, though, Alex.
Definitely.
So, what do you think then for the Wycombe Fleetwood game? What are your thoughts?
Right, okay, so we'll move on. Predictions then. Wycombe Fleetwood. Both very, I think, similar teams in terms of how they play. I went to Wycombe when Ipswich obviously played them away and we drew 1-1. Fleetwood away we beat 1-0. I don't know, it's a tough one. I think in the first leg I think they're going to draw it. I think it's going to be a bit of a scrappy game. obviously with no teams actually. Well, we haven't really played any competitive games, have we? Recently, it's been 2 months. I think it's going to be scrappy, probably for both games, to be completely honest. But in the first leg, I think it'll be maybe a 1-1, and in the second leg, I do think Fleetwood will win at their place.
You reckon Fleetwood at Wembley?
I think Fleetwood at Wembley, yeah. I think they've, for the size of the place they live in. I live near a place called Felixstowe. I'm not sure if you know where that is, but it's absolutely tiny. And Felixstowe is actually bigger than Fleetwood, so it just goes to show you the capacity of Fleetwood. And I think they've had a really good season. I think they've overachieved, and I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to get to Wembley. Go on, take it away.
Gareth Ainsworth's probably the best manager in the league, I would say. Not just because of his genes, but because of... That's actual genes that he wears, by the way, not genes from like hereditary. But you must have seen his genes on your away day. They're absolutely unbelievable. But that's no way to judge a manager on his genes. But I think Wycombe have a really good... Wycombe and Fleetwood, actually. You said they're both similar teams. You might have noticed throughout the season, this is no dig at any Wycombe or Fleetwood fans, but they have the best technique when it comes to time wasting. Both of those clubs. I'm not sure if it's instilled from Joey Barton as the manager, but perhaps, and they'll try, and I think the playoffs will definitely need to... The first one will end in a draw. I agree with you on that, because people will be finding their feet, who haven't played for ages, and are still trying to it'd be really strange playing football against an opposition for the first time in 2 or 3 months. I think people will be quite standoffish in that game, not expecting high octane physical playoffs, although those are physical teams, both Fleetwood and Wycombe. I think players will be a bit standoffish, and they'll be trying to get to know the team for the first 90 minutes, and then maybe the second leg will be better entertainment for the neutral. I'm going to disagree with you and go for Wycombe in the playoff final at Wembley, just because I think... Sorry, you got to move on, ain't you? But just because I think Wycombe will end up winning over 2 legs.
Okay, that's fair enough. And now brings us on to the next playoff game, Oxford versus Portsmouth.
Oh,
and I think if it had been the other way around, and it was Oxford against Wycombe and Portsmouth against Fleetwood, for example, I think this would be a final game, Oxford-Portsmouth at Wembley. I think it's going to be a tough game for you. Well, 2 tough games. Because when we played Oxford at Portman Road, they were really good. It's tough. It's a tough one. I'm gonna just hurry up and give you my prediction here. I think in the final of the playoffs, I think you're gonna make it against Fleetwood.
Big.
And I'm not just saying that because you're a Portsmouth. No, I nearly said Peterborough fan. I'm not just saying that because you're a Portsmouth fan. I do genuinely think you've played some very good football this season. And I think, you've got some good talent in your squad, especially with, you've got a massive fan base as well. And I think if your fans had been going to both of these games, that would have had a massive impact. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be one of your toughest games, but I do think you're going to scrape it and just make it into the playoff final.
I'd agree with that. And then at Wembley, Alex, what do you reckon?
Oh, I don't think Fleetwood will go up. If you get to Wembley, I think you'll go up, and it means I won't be seeing you next season, mate.
Sad. No collaborations next year, mate. But I don't think we'll even be able to go to football, to be honest. So, I think it's just because social distancing is going to be a thing of the future now, isn't it? So we're all going to have to get. I reckon they'll.
We don't know. I don't know. Don't know for how long.
Very quickly, it'll probably be like one group of season ticket holders can go, and then the next week someone else sits in your seats, and then you'll have like a third of the capacity with 2 seats either side of you. Anyway, my prediction very quickly, because I know we're going on now post 20 minutes, but I reckon, of course, we'll be playing Championship football next season. The road is quite rocky, and it will be a tough old ride, as you just said. We normally bottle it in the playoffs, but I think we've had enough of that now. We'll kick on, And yeah, hopefully we'll beat Oxford at an empty Wembley, which will be very strange. And we'll kick on into the Championship, and then Premier League, and then Champions League, and then world domination as a football club.
Oh, mate. Stop dreaming.
Nothing wrong with dreaming.
Right. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up with one more question. You know what's coming, mate. Give me a favourite. Come on, I want to hear it.
Like your mind goes blank, doesn't it? I don't want to say play up Pompey because it's a generic one. How does the Gareth Evans one go? Oh, here we go. Here, I got it, Alex. Right. Gareth Evans is a blue. Gareth Evans is a blue. He ate scummers. There you go.
There we go.
There's your song.
There it is. We did. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for all watching this video. It's been a bit of an interesting one. I now know much more about Tom, not Ben. And yeah. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. Subscribe to my channel. I'm nearly at 10,000, and yeah, it's all a bit crazy. Unbelievable. Right, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Portsmouth vlogger, 4-0 written all over it. How are you doing, Ben?
Ben?
I've actually forgotten your name.
Like this video and subscribe right now to Alex Griffin. Now!